Spend a few hours on any Saturday afternoon meandering around Roslindale Village, along Corinth, near Washington and South Streets. Amble your way through some of the trendy boutique shops that line the square. Enjoy a casual lunch at any one of several chic urban bistros, leaving room perhaps for some gourmet ice cream or a tasty Greek pastry. And then, when your stomach is full and your feet are weary, pull yourself up on a park bench in historic Adams Park and enjoy the sights, sounds, and smells of an authentic and bustling farmer's market. Do this, if only for an afternoon, and you will know Roslindale. Maybe not all there is to know, but enough to leave you wanting more. And more to see and enjoy in Roslindale there most certainly is, much more. Once considered a garden suburb of Boston, Roslindale to this day boasts of plenty of natural beauty. In fact, the name Roslindale was suggested by a local resident and seasoned traveler who said it reminded him of the beautiful historic town of Roslin, Scotland, outside Edinburgh. And since it is surrounded by rolling hills, it was thought to be like a dale. Thus the town was aptly named Roslindale.
Well, Roslindale is a great neighborhood to live for a number of reasons, and to work. I think one of the things that people talk about a lot with Roslindale is, first of all, it has a very unique and special layout. We're one of the only neighborhoods in the whole city with a village green, and it's just been beautifully maintained. It's a very central place. We have a farmer's market there every Saturday during the summer, and concerts in the evenings, and it's just a wonderful place to go and hang out. The whole neighborhood is really feels like a village, hence the name, and that's a name that's gone back to the 19th century actually. And it's a very walkable area. You can park your car, and there's lots of independent markets to do your shopping at. We have 2 butchers, 6 bakeries. We have some award-winning restaurants that are very homey, excellent food.
Very diverse community, rich with culture. It reminds me a lot of Europe. You know, I drive by this area in the morning and I see old timers sitting around these benches, and they're all talking and drinking coffee, playing backgammon sometimes, and to me, that is just such a beautiful sight. I love that.
The abundance of natural beauty tucked in and around these rolling hills, dotted with lush green meadows, can be seen at its most pristine at the Arnold Arboretum, a 265-acre oasis that is part of Boston's world-renowned Emerald Necklace, a place where locals walk, bike, relax, and on a certain Sunday in May, smell the lilacs. In addition, Roslindale also lays claim to 2 public parks, Fallon and Healy Fields, where children and adults alike can find plenty of fun games to play. Baseball, basketball, soccer. Whatever your outdoor pleasure, Roslindale has ample resources to satisfy your health and fitness needs.
I think that Roslindale has a lot of natural green space that's really welcoming and nice to have within a city limits. And we have an organization called Green and Clean that has worked really hard to landscape the public areas, which are really beautiful, and they've added a lot to the natural outlook of landscape of the community. We have the Arnold Arboretum, we have Adams Park, which is very unusual for a small neighborhood to have such a significant space that events can take place in and has lots of greenery.
And then, of course, there's the George Wright Golf Course. That's right, a 9-hole golf course in the heart of Boston that calls the neighborhoods of Roslindale and Hyde Park its home. It's also worth noting that Roslindale is home to many large single-family, colonial, and multifamily properties, surrounded by tree-lined streets and spacious yards.
Roslindale has a rich history. I think the neighborhood is great. We have a lot of great Victorian houses and houses with big yards. We have Metropolitan Hill, which you can look out and see the skyline of the city of Boston, and you can actually see the fireworks from there on the 4th of July. We have a good, strong business district. I think the best thing about Roslindale is that all the community groups work together. From Healthy Roslindale to ABCD, the business community. We've made it strong, a strong neighborhood with a lot of good people in it, a safe neighborhood, and I think that's the best part of Roslindale.
Located in the southwest corner of Boston, with downtown only a few miles away, Roslindale is a neighborhood of social, racial, and ethnic diversity, all of which contribute their piece to a rich, urban, and sophisticated cultural experience. There is, for example, a large ethnic population of Irish and Greek residents who have added tremendous cultural value to the neighborhood that has helped shape its character. Check out Alexander the Great Park, a centerpiece of the community for over a decade, as an outstanding example of the Greek cultural influence.
Well, I think being longtime residents here, one of the things that I find very appealing about Roslindale is the diversity, the different kinds of cultures and the different kinds of people that you run into down in Roslindale Square. I know we call it Roslindale Village, but I've been here so long, it's been Roslindale Square for me forever. So I believe that's one of the main things. And plus there's so many different kinds of opportunities for buying things in Roslindale Square, the different kinds of bakeries, different kinds of shops and markets down there.
The focus on education for the youth of Roslindale is solid. With 8 elementary schools, 7 public and 1 private, and over a dozen preschools, the neighborhood has an abundance of educational selection from which growing young families may choose. Some of the elementary schools include the Charles Sumner School, the Dennis Haley, George Connolly, Phineas Bates, and Mozart schools, and the Edward Brooke Charter School, to name a few. On the private side is the Sacred Heart School. Throughout the year, Roslindale finds many occasions to celebrate. Whether it's providing a venue for a community event, such as a summer concert in Adams Park, the annual Taste of Roslindale exhibit, where local food establishments present a cornucopia of gastronomical delight for area residents and visitors to feast on, the farmers market, taking place every Saturday in Adams Park throughout the summer, or the locally renowned and cherished Roslindale Day Parade, or by its commitment to the arts via the Roslindale's Art Alliance, organizers of the Open Studios exhibit, where local artists display their work in the late fall. Roslindale revels in all kinds of activities that brings people together and strengthen the ties that bind.
Well, Roslindale is an event-driven community. I mean, we really do enjoy our times. But I think one of the highlights of the year is obviously the Roslindale Day Parade. It goes right by our house, Belgrade Avenue, which is kind of a plus for us. And we've been in it, and we've had parties out front of the house to enjoy it. That's always been a lot of fun. We also have a great organization, the Roslindale Arts Alliance, which Janice and I are involved in, who hold annually for the last 5 years the Roslindale Open Studios. And we've really excelled on that in the last couple of years. Last year we had 90 artists with 40 different locations around Roslindale to feature their art and for people to have an opportunity to meet the artists in their environment where they actually do their work. It's a special event. We're really proud of it in our committee.
Because the neighborhood of Roslindale is within Boston's city limits, the residents have access to a world-class transportation system. With over a dozen MBTA bus routes rolling through town, the Forest Hill subway station, where one can hop on board the Orange Line, or the smooth, fast ride of Boston's commuter rail. The residents in Roslindale never have to worry about how to get from one place to the next. Boston and all points north, south, and west are easily accessible to all travelers. Established neighborhoods are not born that way. They mature over time. Roslindale has a unique history, offering its own significant contribution to the storied past of Boston as a whole. Originally part of West Roxbury, which was annexed to the city of Boston in 1873, Roslindale grew as a traditional streetcar suburb, and in the 1880s separated from West Roxbury to form its own community. For years, Roslindale was a main railway thoroughfare that connected cities and towns south of Boston to the state capital. On a tragic note, the rail line at Bussey Street was the scene of a terrible bridge collapse that killed more than 23 passengers on board a Boston-bound train. This is considered one of the first major rail catastrophes in the country and contributed to the widespread inspection of train bridges across the United States. The neighborhood of Roslindale has much to offer both current and future residents. Its urban character and charm, coupled with an abundance of open space for all kinds of recreational activities, is a source of pride among those who call Roslindale home. Of course, there are many other attributes that make the neighborhood such a wonderful place to live. Its proximity to Boston, its close-knit community, and its great transportation system, to name a few. But to really know Roslindale, take that aforementioned walk through the village, and you will experience firsthand what everyone is raving about.